Welcome back to yet another episode of Before You Summon. We have arrived at our second event of June, being a light drawn closer that will run from June 20th to June 28th. This is a permanent Nightcore 25 unit focused marathon event in the pure attribute with Mafuyu as the focus character and the rest of Nightcore 25 as well as the Nightcore 25 virtual singer acting as supporting cast. And with this being a normal marathon event, we have 2 exchange shop cards being added. And taking the 2-star slot is Kanade with her card Wishing You a Peaceful Night, which is a healer skilled card in the mysterious attribute. And this means that Kanade will see use in 2 future events, the first one being Let It Ring Beautiful Sound that will run from August 9th to August 15th. In the gacha for this event is Anne, Toya and Kanade, meaning of course that Kanade is of lower gameplay value as she is available with a 70% bonus during this event. This is then followed by the event And So, the clock hand started ticking that will run from April 30th to May 6th. And in the gacha for this event is Mafuyu, Kanade and Nightcore 25 Rin, meaning that Kanade is lower gameplay value for this event as well as she is available as a new limited card that has a 70% bonus during this event. With the character taking the 3-star slot being Enna with her card Conveyed Feelings and Efforts. And Enna is a cool attribute card with a perfect locker skill called A Hand for Someone, an Umbrella for the Rain. And due to her cool attribute, Enna will see use in 2 future events as well. The first event Enna will see use in is With Her Hands Covered in Wounds that will run from November 30th to December 8th. In the gacha for this event is Enna, Mizuki and Nightcore 25 Meiko, meaning of course that Enna is lower gameplay value for this event. This is then followed by the event Unreliable Notes that will run from March 20th to March 28th, 2026. With the gacha for this event having Kanade, Mafuyu and Enna, meaning of course that Enna is lower gameplay value for this event as well. So there's quite a few events where these cards do see future use, but both the Kanade and the Enna are pretty low gameplay value as they have alternatives available during these events. But as always, the 2 exchange shop cards will become available once the event proper opens through the exchange shop for the standard prices. And of course, running alongside the event, we will have the event gacha called Reknit Relations that will run from June 20th to June 30th. This is a standard permanent gacha, meaning that these cards will enter the standard gacha pool once the event ends. It also means that there will be 3 new cards added with these gacha who are considered the focus cards of this event, so they will grant a 70% event bonus during event team building. And all 3 of the cards will of course match the event attribute, being pure this time around. And as of recording this audio on June 14th, none of the cards have seen any future usability on the Japanese server. I even triple checked this time. Which means that we will once again skip the future usability section for these cards as there is none to mention. So starting with the focus character of this event, we have Mafuyu and her card A Warm Hand.
ひょってされると安心する。
Mafuyu is a perfect scorer skill card with the skill name What Ordinary Times Give Me, and perfect scorer skill cards will grant a 110% score bonus for 5 seconds for perfect taps only, with Mafuyu's new costume being called Turning Purple. And Mafuyu has 3.5 new upcoming limited cards. Her first limited card will come from the event Wonder Horror Test of Courage that will run from August 31st to September 8th. This is then followed by the event Put Your Heart Into This One Stitch that will run from January 31st to February 8th, 2026. With Mafuyu's final proper limited card coming from the event And So, the clock hands start ticking that we mentioned earlier, running once again between April 30th and May 8th, 2026. With Mafuyu's semi-limited card of course being her World Link exclusive card arriving with the Nightcore 25's second World Link event that will run between June 9th and June 21st, 2026. With Mafuyu having 3.5 upcoming reruns. As always, the second rerun is the final rerun before the gacha is discontinued and the cards enter the Recollection Festival gacha pool. If you wanna know more about this, check out the Recollection Festival guide linked down in the description. The first rerun Mafuyu will show up in is the final rerun of the Words in the Snow gacha that we will see in July. This is then followed by the final rerun of the Escape the Ring gacha in December, and then the final gacha Mafuyu will show up in is the first rerun of the What Awaits at the End of War gacha that will run in March. And this gacha does not yet have a second rerun confirmed on the Japanese server, with the final special rerunning gacha being the Nightcore 25 World Link support gacha tied to the second World Link event. This gacha should become available sometime in June before the Nightcore 25 World Link event starts. And in this gacha will the original first batch of Nightcore 25 World Link cards be available as rate-up cards once again. Our second character in the gacha is Mizuki with her card Wanted to Say It in Person.
Mafuyu, メッセージ見てくれたかな?
With Mizuki being a perfect locker skill card with the skill name One's Own Rules for rainy days, and perfect locker skill card will change all bad and higher taps into perfects for 5.5 seconds and grant an 80% score bonus for 5 seconds at talent level 1. And Mizuki's card will come with the costume Knitting Colors. With Mizuki having a much smaller selection than Mafuyu, having only 1.5 limited upcoming cards. Her proper limited card comes from an event we have already mentioned, with our hands covered in wounds, that will once again run from November 30th to December 9th. With her semi-limited card of course coming from the Nightcore 25 World Link event embraced by transient bubbles that will once again run between June 9th and June 21st. With Mizuki, just like Mafuyu, having 3.5 upcoming reruns. The first gacha we will encounter is the first rerun of the Welcome to Diner gacha in August, with a second rerun confirmed for April 2026. This is then followed by the final rerun of the Escape the Ring gacha once again in December, with the final proper rerun being the first rerun of the New Year's Enchanting Flowers Bloom Bright gacha that we will see in January, with its second rerun of course not yet confirmed on the Japanese server. And just like Mafuyu, Mizuki's special rerunning gacha is the Nightcore 25 World Link support gacha that will once again become available sometime in June of 2026. And our final character in the gacha is Nightcore 25 Rin with her card The First Thunder.
何? 今の音.
With Rin being a healer skill card with the skill name Words Can Lead to Disaster, and healer skill cards will recover 350 life and grant an 80% score bonus for 5 seconds at talent level 1. With the final costume added with the gacha being called Mend a Tear. With Rin having 2.5 upcoming new limited cards. The first one will come from the event Put Your Heart Into It Dream Stage, also known as the 4th anniversary, that will run from September 30th to October 9th. But Rin is a Bloom Festival exclusive card when it comes to this event, meaning she will only be available between September 30th and October 4th. This is then followed by the event Connect Heart Message that will run from February 28th to March 8th. And Rin's semi-limited card of course comes from the Virtual Singer World Link event with you at the beginning of Sekai that will run from August 17th to August 29th. And outside of this, Rin has 2 upcoming reruns as well. The first one will come in the form of the final rerun of the Lion Dance gacha in August, which is then followed by the first rerun of the Music March gacha in September, with the second rerun already confirmed for March 2026. With that, we have covered all of the information on the cards added with the Re-Knit Relation gacha, so instead we can look towards the team building for this event. And as always, this is a unit-focused event, meaning all virtual singers in the Nightcore 25 unit with the correct attribute being pure can grant the 50% bonus, not only Nightcore 25 Rin. And this time around we have no asterisks for the 2-star and 3-star cards, meaning we can skip directly into the 4-star selection. We have 16 available 4-star card with 4 events, bringing more than 1 card at a time, with also all 4 of the events bringing more than one card being of the permanent variety. The first event we saw is What's on Your Mind Exciting Picnic, a mixed event that brought an Enna and a Mizuki. This was then followed by 3 unit-focused events in the pure attribute. The first event in question is Someday from the Depths of Despair that brought a Kanade, a Mafuyu, and a Mizuki. This was then followed by Immiscible Discord that brought a Kanade, an Enna, and a Mizuki. With the final event we saw being Knowing the Unseen, which was very recently, bringing an Enna, a Mafuyu, and a Nightcore 25 Len. But of course this is not all of the 16 cards, as 5 cards come from scattered mixed events. 3 of these cards are limited, 1 is a semi-limited, and 1 is a permanent. The limited cards in order start with the half anniversary Mafuyu Colorful Festival exclusive card. This is then followed by the Mafuyu from the event at the festival Bathe in Twilight, also known as second anniversary. With the final limited card coming from the event to you, my caring companion, of course being a Kanade. Kanade is also the semi-limited card from the event Searching for Sunken Shadows, which is of course the Nightcore 25 World Link event. With the final permanent card coming from the event Sekai Happy New Year in the form of an Enna. And to finish off the roster we have 2 available birthday cards, the second year Kanade and the third year Enna. It is pretty obvious from a first glance where the problem with this event team building lies. And you'd think that after almost 4 years of Project Sekai, the Virtual Singers would be in a better place. But it's really not the case, as Virtual Singers aren't even immune to being bad in unit-focused events where all 5 of them are available. But outside of the problems with the Virtual Singers, which can be mitigated if you have any of the blank Virtual Singer cards, such as the second anniversary Luca and Miku Colorful Festival cards, or by using 3-star cards, there isn't really a lot to complain about with this event team building. It is a pretty varied selection of card equal between the different characters, with a few high value gachas interspersed, such as second anniversary and Immiscible Discord, both of which are highly popular. This on top with a strong 3-star selection, I really do think that this is one of the better event team buildings we have, where I don't have much to complain about. But event team building at the end of the day is a very personal experience, where what cards you have dictates how good of an event team building it is at the end of the day. But I think a lot of late game players who like Nightcore 25 decently will be able to make a 270 to 280% event bonus team without any major issue, with what I think might be a pretty big sum of players being able to reach that coveted 300% event bonus. And on top of that, early game and mid game players have a pretty decent selection of 2-star and 3-star cards to fall back on. So I really don't have much to complain about with this event team building, and instead we can look towards the virtual live that will start once the event is over. The virtual live will be available between June 28th and June 29th, and participating during the allotted time period will grant you 300 crystals and a stamp. The stamp this time around of Mafuyu called Thank You. And of course, since this is a unit focused event, we will have a commissioned song called M Purple. The song will be granted to you through your in-game mailbox on June 20th and will come with a virtual singer version and a Sekai version, with no alternative vocals currently available for the song. So with that, we have covered everything you needed to know about the event, A Light Drawn Closer. So the final question is, should you pull from this gacha? And the short answer is, as always, yes. If you enjoyed these cards, you should definitely pull on the gacha, but we can discuss the topic a little bit further. Of course, stacking heavily against the event is the fact that none of these cards have any future usability as it currently stands, and Nightcore 25 has a pretty decent selection of pure attribute cards. Of course, the future usability and event team building prospect of cards shouldn't be why you pull for a card, it should be your emotional response and how much you love the cards in question. And A Light Drawn Closer is definitely a very interesting event. The card art is genuinely stunning for the trained versions of all 3 of the cards. as well as having pretty interesting costumes in my opinion. And even as someone who has Nightcore 25 as her least favorite unit, I do find this story to be a really hard-hitting one. So I can both see and argue for pulling from this gacha if you love these cards and you have a sentimental attachment to the story being told for Mafuyu. Especially seeing how little event team building and future usability really matters in Project Sekai. But as always, it is down to you if you wanna pull from this gacha, so please, down in the comments, tell me what you think of the event A Light Drawn Closer. Are you excited? Do you like the cards? And what are your feelings about the story being told? As always, I love to hear your opinions, and while you're down there typing away the comment, make sure that you're subscribed, have left a like, and share the video with a friend. All of these things help immensely, and our growth as a channel has really stagnated with a lot fewer views coming in, so everything you do really helps. Finally, I want to extend a very warm thank you to all of my Patreons, especially my append players being Bambi, Charlie Toyoism, Gabby Z, Helen P001 Star, Katie, Mia Marie 21, Opal Siren, Petterish, Romaru, Shoop, Snobby Hickory, and Veritas Uwu. As always, all of you guys are truly amazing, and I cannot thank you enough for the continued support. And if you wanna join them in supporting me that little bit extra as a channel, a link will be down in the description to my Patreon. But with that, I have rambled far long enough. I will not keep you here any longer. Let's get out of here for the week.